Hey guys, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today I found this website. Someone from my community, from my Discord community, sent me this website, and well, at first glance, you get this really cool, CMS, infinite scroll type of animation, which I find really fascinating. And as you hover over each element, you have the name and the category, or the brand name, sorry. And this is quite interesting. I think this is something that you would have to do with custom code. And for the sake of this video, I just want to build something that doesn't involve code. So if you click on this Griglia button, you can see that it shows the same products, but they're in a type of grid formation. And I think this is pretty cool to build with Framer without any code, integrating your CMS products. If you're using something like Frameship, for example, or if you have any types of digital products, if the user hovers over the specific product, they get the different types of colors, right? So, for example, you can have like 4 or 5 different types of images in your specific CMS item, and as the user hovers over it, you can see the different changes of images, right? And you can also see that the cursor changes to the name of this specific product, right? I think this is a fascinating website, and I would love to build this in Framer, so this is what we're going to do today. In this case, they have 4 boxes or 4 columns for the grid. So I'm going to be making about 16 products, and a few of them are going to have different color variants, just to make this tutorial shorter. So if this is something interesting for you guys, stick around and let's build this together. So the first thing you want to do obviously is open Framer, open a new project. You can do that by clicking on the plus sign up here. And what you want to do is, or what I always do is, I always add the different breakpoints. I like to design everything from desktop to tablet to phone simultaneously so that we don't have to, be doing them differently and get confused. We have them all at the same perspective, right? So now that we have that, let's go back to Chrome and let's take a screenshot of this just to kind of, have an idea, right? So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and perfect. Go back to Framer and let's just paste it on the side, which, by the way, I love that you can do that in Framer. Just paste things on the side. It's great. Just like in Figma, for example. So many people that learn Framer, they're coming from a Figma background, and if that's one of you guys, right, this is an awesome feature that Framer has. Okay, so we have this. Now what I want to do is, before we start designing, I actually want to create a collection. So we can go to our collections and press the plus sign, and we can just put products, right? And usually, if you're going to build this and you have your products in Shopify, for example, you can use a tool like Frameship, so this one. And Frameship is great for connecting Framer to Shopify. So Framer can be your front end and Shopify can be your back end, basically. So if you have your products in Shopify, please use Frameship. I have a 10% discount in the description below, by the way. So that's something cool. But in this case today, we're going to be building our products in Framer, just as an example, because I don't want to open a new Shopify store just for this video, right? So let's go to new items and let's write product 1. So as you can see from the get-go, if we click on new item, and we have the title, we have the slug, and we have the content. We don't have anything for images. So obviously the title is good. The slug is important because this is going to be the unique URL for this specific product. And the content, obviously, for the description is important, but we need more things. So let's just save this. Let's go back to edit fields and let's add a few things. So let's add the cover image. Let's put this like this. And then let's put other images, right? We want to add image 2, another image, image 3, and another image, image 4, and maybe another one, right? Image 5. So we can put these, you can put the content here, the images at the end. So now each image, each product is going to have their own images. And by the way, there's also something called gallery, which is a collection of images, which is also pretty cool, but we cannot, in this case, we need to have specific images and not a gallery like it shows here, right? So let's just remove this. And the reason why we can't have the gallery is because Framer sees the gallery as a selection of images and we can't really separate them into different variants in a component, which you're going to see later. So cover image, title, slug, content. We can add another section like a plain text that represents the brand name. And we can probably add that as well to the custom cursor. Okay, so that's great. Now we have, a basis for our products. So we have product 1, cover image, brand name. So this is called the brand. And then we have content and then the different images, right? So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and create these different products and create different images for these different products. So I'm gonna do that with a tool like Midjourney. So I can just go here and just write on Midjourney, midjourney.com, and here we can search for different product photography and search one with a white background, or let's just put product maybe. So there's a lot of creams I can see. So let's put like furniture, white background. So we have like a couch. This chair actually looks pretty cool. So we can get this chair, for example. We can get this chair, and I can use this image, a white modern chair, white background. Press enter and boom. So this white chair would look cool. We can get this one as well. Image, a green chair, white background. So it uses it in that style. So now it's creating different images, great. And they're not identical to this one, they're different, but that's cool. I think it's something interesting, right? So we can probably use this one, for example. This is like a cool chair. I want to see the material that it has. Is it like a nice material? It's like a gloss material. Interesting. This one is also pretty cool. What we can do is we can zoom out by 1.5x. And we can get, for example, this one and zoom it out. And the reason why I'm zooming it out is because I want some more white space around. Because here you can see that it's kind of, there's some nice space around it. So let's get this one, let's save this image. And what we can do is we can use this, a red modern chair. And let's remove this one, let's just put this one. A red modern chair, white background. You see these can be used as like different variants. So for example, this one can be a different variant. They're not the same. If you want to make them the same, obviously in a realistic project, they can be shot in the same perspective. But in this case, we're just using AI. So we have to use what we have. So for example, this one looks good. Let's just save this one as well. And yeah, and what we can do is we can probably get an editor. And I would say maybe here. Maybe we can write something like a pink fur material and remove this, submit. Let's see if this works. Not really. Let's try it again, use editor. So let's just try again. I'm just, poking around to see if something interesting works. But eventually we just want to have different types of variants of a specific chair. Okay, this is interesting, right? So we can use this one. They don't have to be the same, different colors. They can be different types of models. What was the original one like? This one. We can use this one as well. So now we have like 4 different things that we can use. So the cover image can be the first one that we got, which was this one. And then we can have this one. And we can have another one. And then another one. Like boom. And then maybe we can go back to Chrome and rerun this so we can get another type of strange variant. Let's see what it creates. Yeah, something like this is cool. It's like an optical illusion kind of. But they're all in the same perspective, which is cool. So let's just go back to Framer and let's insert this. And then we can call this like the supersonic seat. Supersonica. Why not? And then supersonic seat. We don't really need a description for now. So what we can do now is we can do the following. We have one product. We're eventually going to have like 16, but we have one. And I just want to test how this would look like. So what I want to do is I want to go to my collections and I want to add the products. And so we have the products here. We have this specific product. And I maybe want to make this as a component. So hold on, create component, card, create, and let's just put this as a background, fill, and this fill would be an image variable, and this size would be fit the content. So this is products, this is card, image set variable to cover image. And we need this. We can just put this in here and see how this looks like. Let's put this as a fit content and let's put this into a stack. And let's call this grid. And let's give this about 60 pixels everywhere. And let's make this card be set to fill. Okay, so it's working with this fill. And we can set this height. Okay, great. So this is looking good. Now what I want to do is the following. I want to go to this card and I want to Actually, let's... So this would be cover. So this one would show the cover image. Then we want to do different variants. So let's do like 5 different variants. So this would be image 2, this would be image 3, image 4, and image 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. This one would show... So let's remove this. And this one would show image 2. This one would show image 3. Image 3. This one would show image 4. So image 4, and then the last one, you guessed it, image 5, right? So, like so. And now we have this. And what we want to do is we want to just link this to their images in the CMS. So now we have our different images. And now what we want to do is that so what can we do? So what we can do is that this basically we can select this one, and this would be called neutral. And this one can be called 1 or start, right? And the neutral one, so this one we're gonna have to basically add different interactions. So new transition, unappear, delay, maybe 0.4 seconds, set the variant 2. And then this one set to variant 3. This one set to variant 4. This one set to variant 5. And this one set to variant 1. And this one doesn't have any interactions. So it's going to start, this one is going to actually start off as neutral. And then once the user, so affects scroll, not scroll variant, but hover effect. Actually, no. Let me see. So it's not here. Neutral. So nothing happens if I put my mouse over it, but maybe if I were to appear, no, not appear. Let's remove this. New transition. Mouse enter. Set to variant 1. And then we can also do like mouse leave, set to variant neutral. And all of these would have it. Perfect. So let me just press play. So it's starting to work. Now what we want to do is we want to, create a grid out of this. And so let me go back. This will be actually the grid. And we need to create more products. So I'm just going to duplicate this to see how this would work. And it would automatically pick up this type of component. So with that being said, all we have to do now is create new products, add new images, and yeah, that's like the next step that we have to do here. All right, so I set up 14 products. So now if we go back, you can see that we have the grid up and running, looking good. I do kind of see that the cards or this something here is not looking so nice in terms of the sizing. I would say probably it's the size of the grid, yeah, it's like a fixed size. Let's set it to something. Maybe we would need this height to be fixed. I would say maybe 300 or something like that. And then everything here needs to fit the content, and we're looking better, right? Fit the content, whoops. Fit the content, fit the content. And now if we go back to Chrome, we can see that this is actually there's no padding on the right and left or the top or bottom. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. This seems to be set to like the, a fixed position. This as well. But the rest seems to be no padding and no gap. There's just like this nice, border line here, right? So let's go back to Framer and let's go to our grid. So I'm going to go back a little bit. And for this grid, I'm going to remove the padding everywhere. And I'm just going to make sure that everything is set in a way that we like it. So we have gap 20. Let's remove that. Let's put that to 0. Gap 20, gap 10 here. And let's remove this gap. I still see that there's a gap here. And now it is being removed. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to go to our card and we want to go to the primary and maybe give that a border of 1. Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, maybe we can do it a little bit less. So not 1, but something like 0.5. Yeah, that looks better. And that looks cool. You can already start seeing the different things. Well, not all of them have this cake. And actually, I'm also seeing that we need to set this. We need to remove this. Perfect. So we have 12 here. How many products do we have in total? We have 14. So 2 aren't actually showing. So we need to add, I would say, another. Okay, we need to actually make this fit the content. So I need to set this products over here to fit content so we can see all of them. Perfect. And if we press play, we can already start scrolling. And this one, for example, you can see, all of them, you can see kind of this preview, right? Now, not all of them are supposed to have it. I can see here it brings the cake. We don't want that. We want to actually remove these images from here because we don't have it for here. So, and as you can see, it's going to be empty. So in this case, we're going to want to, either we use the same image for the different images. So we can go like this and put the same pink bottle. I have to find it, this one, for all the images. Or we create new images, or we just, instead of using this, how do you call it? Instead of using this specific component, we just do a separate products, grid, but we don't want that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And here, what we can do is we can do like some type of sorting. We can sort it by the title. So you can already start seeing that this starts, going in a different way. And we can see in Chrome that we have this nav bar and these buttons over here. So we can, implement that. So if we go to Framer, we can use a tool like Compa, get a navbar, and we can use one of these navbars. Obviously, for the free one, we can use something like this. We can put the navbar up here. We can eventually, make the size smaller and put it as a fixed width so it stays on the top, right? But in this case, I just wanted to show you this. Now, another thing that we can do is with the cursor. So we have a custom cursor, right? And we need to create a component for this. So we want to do the following. So we want to go here and click on the title, on the T, and just write something, title, and put this maybe here. And this would be, hold on one second. Content, no. We need to create the title somehow here. So let me just go title. And let me put this to a stack. So add stack, create a fill, make the stack be fit content. I know there's a shortcut to this, but I always forget it. Anyways, let's make it like this. Let's create this as the custom cursor. And let's create this as a type of variable, plain text, title. And let's find this cursor, custom cursor. Okay, now we want to add the custom cursor here. Follow. So let me see how this looks like. And there's really no way of editing the title of this cursor now that I'm thinking about it. I only see title, but we need to create this, we need to connect it to the CMS, basically. Custom cursor, no, we don't want this one. We want the card to have a custom cursor. Maybe what we can do is we can create a custom cursor for each one, right? So that would be a little bit more work, obviously. It would be nice if we can have this main custom cursor be attached to, you can recognize each thing as its own piece of content, right? That would be ideal. But if not, then we would have to create a custom one for each one, right? So we do have this. I could put this here. And I could put this as the title. And this could be detach. This could be the title. Let's see if this works. Title. And then we can put the brand name underneath. So this can go somewhat like this. This can be large. This can be small. Like 8. And remove this. Let's put set to brand name. Make this left. Make this semi-bold. And 2, and make it like something like 4 or 5 or 6. That looks good. And then let's remove this. Let's just see if this works, right? Let's remove this. Let's create a component out of this custom cursor. Create. And now basically let's just remove this from here. And let's add custom cursor. Custom cursor. It's not working. Would have been great if it worked. But it doesn't seem to recognize the CMS contents somehow. Which is a shame, because I thought it was going to do it, but it's not. So it only recognizes this animal seat, but it doesn't recognize the other ones. Maybe what we can do is set a custom cursor to this instead of the card, right? We can remove it from here. I'm just trying out, right? And set a custom cursor, component custom card. No, still doesn't get it done. So then, yeah, what we would have to do is go back here and let's see, this is the brand name. Maybe what we would have to do is set the collections to be here. Limit this to 1. Actually, let's take it out. Now that I'm seeing this, it will kind of work if we were to do it like this. And this would be linked to the different things, but we would have to make this a stack and this a grid. And this would be a limit of 1. And then we have to duplicate this. Something like this. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this is kind of the manual way of doing it. But this makes it easy. If some of them don't have the 4 images, you can just replace it. Right, so we have this card, this is the first one. Then what we want to do is we want to set each one, give it a type of sorting. So right now it's sorted by its title, what we can do is the following. We can get this, or each one, and put start offset. Start offset. So this would be start offset at 0. Start offset at 1. And let's remove this title sorting. Let's remove this one as well. Or actually, let's just keep the title sorting. Never mind. So title sorting, start offset at 2, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so now what we have to do is the following. Let's get this custom cursor and bring him in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this instant. And this is basically not linked to any type of CMS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to insert a collection again. And do this kind of manually because, man, it would be great if we can do this in a way that, in a way that we can show that it can automatically detect what is what, right? But it doesn't seem to be working. Maybe there is a way, but I couldn't really solve it. That's why I'm doing this manually right now. But if you guys can solve it, I'd be more than happy to talk to y'all and maybe make another video on this. But let's just do it this other way. So right now we have 1, and we just have to do a kind of sorting through the title and pagination. No, we have to do another start offset, right? So this is going to be 0. So let's just call this like this. Let's call this 0. And I'm curious to see if it works if I just create a component like custom cursor, create, and then if I go like this, okay, awesome. So this works at least. And this has to be set to fit content. Perfect. So this is going to be 0. This is going to be 1. And then we're going to have 2. We're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then each one has to have their different offset, right? So we can, for example, select this. We select this one, it's going to be 1. We select this one is going to be 2, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to skip the time here so it's not so much for you all. So once that's done, we can go ahead and click on the different cards, add a custom cursor to them. So custom, okay, animate your cursor. So set variant. So to variant 1. Let's just see how this looks like. Custom cursor. Okay, because there's different ones. This one we want to delete. So let's just make sure that it's all working fine. So I'm interested because these all have a custom cursor. And what we can do is we can go custom cursor, and then can we go like this? Or let me pick this one, for example. This one would be set variant to 1. Okay, so it works. It works like this. That's pretty cool. So let's just do that for the rest of them. So here it would be custom cursor set variant to 2. And then we just have to do the same thing for the rest of them. So let's review this. If I press play, yes, it's all working. And that's looking pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to have the link to the description below. I'm going to have the remix link in the description below so you guys can check it out. Obviously, some of them are not correct. I'm going to add like a just, the image and not the actual GIF, because some of these don't have different options. For example, these two have them, but this one doesn't, right? And this one doesn't either. Some of them don't. So this one does, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to correct that so we can have a good, remix link for you guys to check out and use for your own products. So thank you so much for your time today. Hope you guys learned something new today. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.